Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in this crypto world. My name is Cody. I am your host for today on the 10-minute pitch show that we've got going on. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, the 10-minute pitch show is designed to be a dynamic and engaging platform to showcase any upcoming, recently launched, or already existing projects in Web3 by providing you with an unbiased, concise review of a product. It's modeled after the classic speed dating format. Again, bear with me for just one moment and we'll kick this thing off. All right. For some of you that have already come up on stage as speakers, if you can give me a thumb up if you can hear me okay. All right, perfect, perfect. And if you're supposed to be on the stage and you haven't been able to accept the invite, please drop out and please rejoin. That usually solves the whole X space issue that we have sometimes. We've got a pretty packed house today, so let's give our speakers just a few more minutes to join us and then we'll get going. All right. I think we've got just about everybody up on stage here. We'll kick this off here just a second. But the goal of today's AMA, so by the end of this show, we want our listeners to walk away with a pretty comprehensive and overview of each of the projects presented. Any projects featured on the 10-minute show does not constitute or apply any type of endorsement. And in fact, our platform is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. So, again, if you're just tuning in, my name is Cody. I'll be your host for today. Before we turn it over to our first project, I do have to say that we are not financial advisors, and as such, will not discuss token prices, price speculation, endorse individual projects, or encourage anyone listening to invest in any of the projects that are going to be presented today. In fact, it's totally up to you. We are going to remain unbiased in this 10-minute pitch show. So that way you can come up with your own conclusions and go from there. We cannot guarantee or ensure that any of these projects will not fail, scam, or rug you in the future. So it is always your financial responsibility to fact check any of today's project's claims and challenge anything that sounds suspicious or misleading by statements made by them. And as always, please do your own research before investing in any crypto project. Each of you will get a uninterrupted 10 minutes and uninterrupted. We give the floor to them. Please respect anybody that's speaking so that they can have their 10-minute slot. Once you get down to about 1 minute left, I will pop on and state that you have about a minute left to wrap it up. Once your time is done, so are you, and we will go on to the next person. The other things that we don't want to be talking about are any type of hyping up the project, anything to manipulate the market or spreading any misinformation. Try to stay away from price speculation on your own token. We're here to establish what your project is here to do to solve some of the challenges or provide new innovative technology to the Web3 space. So please focus some more on that. The audience wants to learn more about it. You can inform them where they can go to your AMA or even your website to learn more about the tokenomics of your project. So with that being said, let's kick this thing off. The first one up on stage will be, let's randomly go here. Let's go with Reinvent DAO. You're up. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Hello. Hi.
We can hear you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannis. I'm actually the founder and CEO of Reinvent DAO. I'm very excited because this is my first time actually pitching on X Space. Hear me out. Cool. I'm based in Hong Kong. A little bit of background about myself is I'm based in Hong Kong, and my background prior to this, I was in banking and consulting. And I left my corporate job about 2 years ago, and I founded Reinvent DAO last year. Let me ask you how I want to start this. Do you know intellectual property in today's world, in the current world, there's about 63 trillion market cap opportunity. And that varies for all S&P 500 companies. But you also realize IP, there's many types of IP. There's copyrights, there's patents, there's even trade secrets. In today's world as well, we see the rising of AI, artificial intelligence coming in. We have to learn how to work with AI. We have to learn how to socialize with AI. And all of us here on X Space, I would say we are probably one of the 1% of people who really understand what is the rest of the population. They are scared, they have fear that they're going to lose their job. In fact, what we've seen, there's so many of white collar professionals in corporates have been made redundant from a top level up until junior level or even mid level because the company is restructuring, companies are going through plans on how they can come up with working with AI. So at Reinvent DAO, what we are building is we are building an ecosystem where we allow the creators to tokenize their work as their IP, their work and your work creation as their IP. So our vision on long term is to liquefy IP rights on chain and build a system where we can diversify different types of IP rights and create IP as a new digital asset class. Talking about what we're building is, and we realize that the problem with creators is that they feel a lot of their work are not protected. Also, a lot of their work have been plagiarized. So if you may see a lot of AI innovation have not really been happening lately, but a lot of them have actually been plagiarized. You do not know who's owning what. Even the law and regulations are not ready yet in order to classify which one of your work is being authored by human, which one of being authored by AI. But where we are now, what matters is because knowledge now are being consumed by human, from AI now. We are training AI on how to actually build a model for us to consume and build a model for us to work with them. So with Reinvent DAO, we're building an ecosystem and a platform where it's collaborative market, where users, creators can come in, license their work, they can set the royalties. In return, we're also building an IP pool where the investors can invest in the future performance of the IP assets. In exchange, they get a royalties as well as our tokens rates. Why we believe in this? Why we're doing this? IP and AI, we believe is going to be hand in hand. The world that we're heading towards, know-how is what defines us in terms of our skill sets. So many people are losing jobs now, even in the Web2 world and even in crypto space. With this, what we're helping is for creators, right now, AI creators to tokenize your work as well as the prompts. And the prompts act as a proof of creation that allows them to bundle that as an IP asset together. And anyone who wants to license it can license that to learn or license that for commercialize. So it's IP rights on rights to use, rights to commercialize. And you may see actually more and more IP protocol coming up now. I'm sure you've heard of the recent news with Story Protocol. So we are actually testing with them in terms of the solution. And where we are right now at Reinvent DAO, we are at the early stage. We believe we are building a pioneer and a frontier product. So the likes of creators as well as consumers can understand that what we're building here, we're helping all of you to actually create the next future of work. We're starting with AI prompts, AI work, AI innovation products, and we are expanding our roadmap to the likes of other IP assets like script writings, entertainment, even coaches, consultants, frameworks, and so many of them. And this is where the next model that we have in our roadmap is also to build AI agent. As part of this, the AI agent will act as a gateway between the consumer whose licensing is together with the knowledge. And this is what we're building so the royalties will get paid, the creators can monetize. And at the same time, we are expanding this ecosystem into producing a knowledge sharing and collective wisdom ecosystem. So right now, this is what excites us. Why we're here. We are actually fundraising now as well. And where we are right now, we're looking to also entering the bull market with very positive optimism. We believe that in the next couple of years, AI and IP will amalgamate together. And as part of that, we're looking for backers and funders who believe in the future of IP. We know IP is actually a liquid asset now, but what we're building is we're turning IP from illiquid into liquid assets. And this is our vision where we want to liquefy IP rights on chain.
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes left.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So in terms of our roadmap, I mentioned that we're also looking at token launch next year. And hence, we have a very vigorous and ambitious roadmap of building our IP pool together with integration to the AI agent. And more, as we anticipate with the bull market, also with more institution coming into digital assets, we want to open up this opportunity for the institutions to come in as a way for them to actually consume a lot of the know-how that we have, as well as coming in to actually tokenize most of the IP assets that they have from an intellectual capital perspective. As you can see, our roadmap is big and our ambition is big. We believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, even, IP is going to dominate, especially in terms of the on-chain market. For us, this is what we're building on a real world asset project. And also on this is where we see the value of how our product and our platform are able to bring a lot more value creation to the next generation, but also to the likes of white collar professionals where knowledge sharing are actually important. And as for now, this is where we are. So I'm just going to pause here and I'm going to say thank you so much for listening. But if you have any question, feel free to follow us on our Twitters or on our X. And if you have any question, feel free to DM us. We will actually be answering any queries. My team and I can answer any queries. You can find me on Twitter or in X, NFT Queen _ Asia. That's my handle. Also on LinkedIn, my name is Hannis Harmalius, so you can find me there. For those of you who are listening in, I would like to say thank you for your time. But also, if you resonate with my words on the future of IP, on the future of ownership, because for me, I believe that Web3 is about read, write, and own. This is where ownership comes in. But we are changing the game. We are setting the frontier of how IP is not just being a traditional IP being seen. We're making IP liquid. We are also making IP is being used as an authorization and ownership by the creator. So thank you.
All right. That was Well, thanks for going first. I know it's always hard to go first, but we appreciate it. If you have any questions for Reinvented, definitely drop those to them, as well as you can tag the project in the messages below, and we'll bring those questions up at the end of the show if you guys have any questions. The next one up on the list is going to be Kevin. Let's go with Kevin next. Your 10 minutes starts now, my friend.
Hey, GM, everybody. What a great day. The markets are behaving for us. It's a great time to be a builder in this space. So yeah, just really excited. Thank you again for hosting this space. And to the previous guest, that was a great presentation. My name is Kevin Okeson. I'm the CEO of Hummingbird. A little bit of background on me, spent a couple decades in TradFi, working in wealth management, risk management, credit underwriting. Jumped into crypto 2015, 2016, saw Bitcoin as a replacement for gold and ETH as a replacement for Visa, MasterCard. Dabbled around in that stuff a little bit. And then me and some buddies started another project in about 2020, 2021 called Arcade to Earn, a big GameFi infrastructure project that is live, that is trading. But what I gathered from working in that project and founding that project is being able to discover needs of infrastructure in existing systems. After Arcade was launched and my job there was done of designing the project and fundraising and people to be able to organize and come together to have shared efforts to generate value. One of the things that we saw in crypto was that marketing and business review or focus groups are two areas that people are very undercompensated and projects and businesses don't really get the results that they're looking for. So what we did is we thought to ourselves, what could we build that would make it so that people that were promoting and wanting to make money from being active on the Twitter timeline and then other social media platforms. What could we build for them that would make that part of their life something that could actually generate revenue for them? You spend a lot of time when you're a VC or a consultant, you spend a lot of time doing due diligence and you don't get paid for that. Make sure you enter projects and do business with the right people, but it's a very heavy time suck that you don't get paid for. So we looked at these two areas, social media marketing and really the VC consulting space, and said, what if we could build something that would link businesses, projects, and brands to these groups in a way that took a lot less effort? Because even brands and businesses, when they're looking for KOLs to promote them, or they're looking for fundraising and all these different things, it takes a lot of time from the project too. And so on both sides of this equation, you have a lot of people wasting time and money trying to find the right people to do business with, get feedback, get their product promoted. So what we did is we created an ecosystem called Hummingbird. And the Hummingbird platform, it incentivizes and rewards two groups of users. One group of users are people that are going to be social media promoters. And we don't really have that on a grassroots basis in crypto right now. Yes, we've got like the CE, the Zubbers, the Galaxies, but there's a lot of problems with those platforms because you get a lot of bots, you get a lot of ineffective marketing. And so on the social media questing side of our platform, what we've done is we've created a higher quality group of users that can promote a project's social media content in a more organic and grassroots way. And what we noticed is that when we went back and did some back testing of even big projects like Juke and other exchanges, if you look at like the first year that their social media content went live, the virality and the amount of follows and likes and retweets weren't actually that big. We went back and especially like we used Juke for a really good example, Juke, the exchange on Solana. We looked at that and we saw that in their first year, some of their like really main informational promotional posts, they have 50 likes on them. And that's a big platform that had a lot of good trajectory early. Crypto is really small on Twitter compared to like Web2 stuff. Like we did a lot of testing over the last couple months and saw that a big influencer on crypto or on crypto Twitter, you might get like 100,000 impressions for a post. And you go look on just regular Twitter and someone posts about like a weird science invention and it gets 2 million. The market is just much smaller. But what that does is it prevents the message from getting out. So what our platform does is it offers our users a chance to earn rewards for promoting our clients' social media materials. And for right now, it's just on X, but we're going to expand to Instagram and YouTube in version 2. So that's one half of the equation. The Hummingbird platform exists for clients to get matched up with promoters and get their message spread in a more viral and organic way because our users actually have other followers. They're not just bot accounts. We have a couple different mechanisms that prevents that. So that's one half of the equation. And the other half of the equation or the platform is our business users, or these are consultants, VCs, CEOs of other companies that constantly throughout their job in crypto is to look at partnerships, look at fundraising opportunities that they want to invest in, look at projects they might want to consult with. It takes a lot of time and they're not being paid for it. And it's a very disorganized way of how they even get that. You have 20, 30, 40 different people you get deal flow from. You never know who is working in what regards with the company. Are there referral fees? Is this? It's just very messy. It's not organized. And whenever you don't have organization, there's value lost in that. And so what our business users on our platform do is their quests per se aren't engaging with social media activity, but it's to review materials at any step in the business cycle. Just for example, with Reinvent they're looking to, what they could do is they could come to our platform, submit their pitch deck and some of their materials. And our business users, we put together a short survey, we put the materials in there, and then our business users, which are VCs, consultants, executives of other projects, they would review those materials, provide this easy feedback, and then the client gets a really nice report. The user's feedback is anonymous. This is another thing we discovered is that a big reason why people in crypto don't, usually give feedback. They just don't answer you. They don't want to look bad if they like said your project wasn't good and then it blows up and does awesome. So what the client gets is a report that will give all this feedback, give the survey results. It'll give the breakdown of the demographics of your materials were reviewed by 19 VCs, 10 business consultants, 5 executives. Here's all the feedback, but you don't know exactly who they are. And what this does is this allows our users the freedom to really express their true views on the project. And then the client still gets all that feedback that then they can iterate on. And so this saves a lot of time and money in the creative process, in the business design process. We're even going to have developers on the platform so people can submit, not really the whole audit, but they could submit like their tech stack. They could submit like their general architecture. And you can get a lot of feedback that is very crucial when iterating. We've all seen, if you're a builder in this space. So between these two groups on our platform, our personal users that are doing the social testing and our business users that are doing all the feedback reviews, it gives our clients a very holistic way to save time, save money, reach their target audiences. So the main utility of the token is just to facilitate all that. Think of our token as like a scalable Twitter premium or premium plus subscription. The platform just went live. There is an opportunity to buy into our seed round, but just go check that out on the post. The Hummingbird account in this chat. So check everything out. Check everything out there on our Twitter, and go check out the website at www.hummingbirdco.io. And thank you very much.
All right, there you go. That was just Hummingbird up. We appreciate them coming on as well. Likewise, if you guys have any questions for them, please feel free to drop those in the comments below, and we will bring that up to them a little bit later in the show. If you're just tuning in, my name is Cody. You are listening to the 10-minute pitch show, where we give projects a 10-minute slot uninterrupted to pitch their projects directly to you. Again, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. This is for entertainment and educational purposes of this show. And likewise, if you haven't done so, please give these guys a follow. Likewise, please retweet this episode so that we can get it out to the masses as well. We've got a pretty good lineup today of projects pitching and shilling their projects. So next up we have is Amplify. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Hey guys, great to be here. Thanks so much for having us. So Amplify, we're building out a Bitcoin abstraction layer. What does that mean? Essentially what we're doing is we're unlocking DeFi yields through AI-powered abstraction. Abstraction basically meaning removing all of the technical knowledge barriers to allow people to enter DeFi. Amplify was basically created of the failings of centralized money markets like Celsius, BlockFi, and Voyager. For those who remember, very popular platforms, huge amounts of user adoption numbers, high TVL, ultimately flawed through their centralization model. People took in their assets and misappropriated those assets. And then when they messed up and went bankrupt, they took everyone's money with them, most of which has yet to be recovered. Over $10 billion has basically been lost. It's really put a huge dent in the sort of trust in those centralized providers. There are some that survived, like Nexo, for example, but now people are unsure whether to keep their money there or not. On the flip side, DeFi also hasn't been much better in many regards. There's been over $7 billion lost since 21, been over 500 high-profile hacks, and not including some smaller cases of fraud and rug pulls and whatever else have gone on. So I'm sure the number is much, much higher. But still, decentralization offers a whole host of benefits, including self-custody and being able to distribute risk. But primarily the issue is people accessing DeFi, right? So we have nearly 600 million people globally who bought cryptocurrencies, 220 million of which are Bitcoin investors, yet only 6 or 7 million people regularly use DeFi. And so why is that? And so we found through market research, and I'm sure a lot of people here could probably just guess, and that technical knowledge barriers is the biggest reason for people not getting involved in DeFi. So when you look at the Bitcoin ecosystem specifically, we're looking at 25 major blockchains generate yields across Bitcoin, tokenized variants of Bitcoin, over 400 protocols. We're looking at thousands of liquidity pools. We're looking at 20 different variants of Bitcoin. So you got Bitcoin itself, and then you can exchange that into wrap BTC, LBTC, eBTC, CPBTC, etc. So just like variants of Bitcoin and tokenized Bitcoin in order to generate yields. And there's 100 plus wallet providers as well. So that's just the very beginning of getting involved in DeFi. And then users have to also get their head around the multitude of different networks, right? Are you on EVM, in which case you're looking at, Ethereum, BNB Chain, Optimism, Arbitrum, Bates, etc. Are you on the new BitVM networks, which is like Core, BitLayer, and then the gas fees that come with that in their native gas tokens, perhaps. Then you've got the issues of single versus dual side liquidity, yield decay, and permanent loss, wrapped versus synthetic assets, bridges, collateralization ratios. So this goes on and on. And so for people to get involved in this space, it's extremely complex. And so that's the reason why they deposit in the likes of Celsius or Nexo or BlockFi. Very simple, set up an account, deposit your assets and start earning. So until we basically remove these technical knowledge barriers, no one's going to really get involved in DeFi. Current protocols that are in DeFi optimize for DeFi users. Great. So we have aggregators and things like that make it easier to earn on your USDT, but it's still only targeting the pool of users of 6-7 million regular DeFi users. And so what we look to do basically is how can we offer the accessibility that centralized providers like Nexo offer, but also offer access to DeFi by removing the technical knowledge barriers. And so what we built essentially is what we call a Bitcoin omni-chain abstraction layer. So we're looking at account abstractions. That's, for example, people logging in with a centralized user experience, email and password, 2FA. We look at chain abstraction. So users being able to access yields on different chains without them knowing what chain they're on, essentially. Token abstraction. So if we take Bitcoin, for example, you deposit your BTC, but that could be auto swapped to wrap BTC, LBTC, eBTC, UniBTC, whatever variant it is, to generate those yields for the users without them having to manually do it themselves. And then finally, gas abstraction. So the only way that we can automate all of this is by paying the gas fees on our end. So the user doesn't pay any gas. They simply deposit and they earn. We do this through our AI model that we built out. Essentially, the AI model will distribute the assets on behalf of the user and then rebalance the assets based on available APYs, liquidity pool depth, volumes, historical performance, and a whole host of other criteria that we look at. The reason why we're targeting the Bitcoin ecosystem specifically, this can be applied to any asset, Solana, Ethereum, Ton. But primarily the reason why we're targeting the Bitcoin ecosystem is because number one, it's the number one cryptocurrency by market cap. It also has the most amount of investors globally. There's a huge amount of institutional interest, and yet it's still very untapped. It's still a very new ecosystem. And so what we look to do is basically bring this ability to generate yields in DeFi to a much wider market. So Ethereum is around 26% of tokens are staked across DeFi for various use cases, farming and yield generation and liquidity provision. If we look at others like Say and Sui and Solana, it's much closer to 70 and 80%. And in fact, the top 10 L1s excluding Bitcoin is 55%. Bitcoin by default is less than 1%. In fact, up until a few days ago, if you take just tokenized Bitcoin, it was around 0.33 to 0.4%. Yet, despite the low adoption in terms of the amount that's staked, it still had 10x growth over the last 2 months. And the overall ecosystem has seen 600% increase in TVL in the last 6 months alone. So there is an opportunity there. And there's also institutional interest in building out this ecosystem so they can put their Bitcoin to use as well. Overall, Immaturable is a good opportunity as well to get involved. If we look at the market opportunity, assuming that Bitcoin will hit $1 million per token, Fidelity predicts it by around 2030. We look at a sort of market, total addressable market of around $20 trillion. And if Bitcoin can match the levels of staking that you see across the likes of Ethereum, which is again the lowest layer one that we see, which is 25-26%, it would be sort of $5 trillion opportunity. At the moment, like I said, there's only 0.33% compared to 25%. So there's still a lot of untapped potential there as well. And the outcome basically of all of this, what we see is essentially the DeFi access for all. So we're unlocking DeFi yields for over 220 million Bitcoin investors globally. The asset diversification, right? So distribution of assets across chains and protocols to ensure no single point of failure. What I mean by that is if you put all of your assets on Celsius and Celsius goes bankrupt, you lose all of your money. If you put your assets into something like Amplify and we diversify it across 10 different pools and one pool is exploited, you lose 10% of your money, but 90% is still intact. And that's it. Our AI also acts as a risk management engine. So it analyzes on-chain data 24/7 and takes any action to protect users' assets if necessary, such as depegging events or liquidity rushes on liquidity pools. And the main thing as well is it's all fully transparent, right? With Celsius, you give them your money like a bank. You don't know what they do. You have an idea. They take some of it, they loan it out, but you don't know how they're using their money elsewhere. They put it into UST, for example, which collapsed and caused a systematic collapse across all the centralized providers. But with us, obviously, it's all on chain. It's all transparent. You can see what protocols are being used, where it's being used, the amounts that are being used, and how that's being diversified and distributed across these various chains and networks as well. For where we are at the moment, we've been around for probably a year building, and closed beta is live. And we started off with stablecoins initially and pivoted towards Bitcoin recently. So the MVP is out on the stablecoin side of things. We will be tying that to incentivization and rewards. If anyone wants to get involved, we'd love to have people test it out. We're also fundraising. So anyone who's listening, we're on our pre-seed round at the moment. So we're looking to raise that before the end of the year. We're looking to launch in Q1 next year. Great thing is we've got a great team behind us. Myself, I've been involved in the space for 8 years as an investor and working for the last 4 years full-time, head of growth capacity across a multitude of different protocols. Our CMO is the ex-head of performance marketing for OKX and Bybit. Our chief community officer is the ex-head of community for Zeely. We've got a really stellar team that's been built around us to help us deliver this vision. We'd love anyone listening to join us and just be a part of the journey as we look to launching Q1 next year. And I'll pause there.
All right, that was Amplify, everybody. So if you have any questions for Amplify, definitely give them a follow, as well as throw any comment or questions down in the comments below. We appreciate them taking time out of their schedule to join us and give us an overview of their project. So with that being said, we will move on to the next. The next one up on the list is going to be Cosmic Network. Go for it, my friend.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity as well. So, Cosmic Network. So, we are a decentralized VPN platform being live as a token since the end of March, or 7, 8 months old now. And what we're really looking to do is build the future of a decentralized internet privacy, combining cutting edge blockchain technology with unparalleled user accessibility. And the reason why we want to do that is because we see the internet today being under threat. Traditional VPNs or centralized VPNs, which are supposed to be there to protect our privacy, that they're centralized, and that is where the problem lies in our opinion. And a lot of the time they're vulnerable to government crackdowns, data breaches and censorships. Even bigger problem that you have is when you have a number of free VPNs, they're literally taking your data and farming them and really unsafe as well, where they log user data and things like that as well. So what we're really looking to do is combat that as well with a decentralized approach across our network. And as well, if you take a look at the overall global VPN market, it's experiencing rapid growth at the moment, especially due to the escalating concerns around privacy, data security, and internet freedom as well, where the market currently valued at around 30 billion and is projected to grow by 75 billion by 2027. So there's significant opportunity there as well. Where we're quite uniquely positioned to fill that gap is with our true decentralized approach, where we eliminate all single points of failure and central authorities, having enhanced privacy and security, where we leverage a blockchain technology, where we've built our own layer one chain, which the network operates on to ensure data isn't logged or compromised in any way. Accessibility for all as well, where we enable anyone, regardless of technical expertise, to be able to contribute and benefit from the network as well. And lastly, with our unique AI-driven VPN as well, bringing AI into the network as well, making it a complete seamless experience and none of those issues that you can typically get from VPNs. We have an app that is currently live across Android on the Play Store and Apple on the iOS Store, as well as Windows and Mac editions. We currently have the app itself has been launched for about 6 weeks now, currently sitting at around about 6,000 downloads across all platforms. One of our big, what I call our iPhone product really is our Nebula Lite device, which is a lightweight hardware device allowing you to have VPN on the go. You can go out into a coffee shop, airport, anywhere really. Connects your laptop, your phone directly to that device, giving you complete VPN protection. Another key way people use it is where they're able to literally plug into their homes and protect all their devices, whether that be your laptops, your TVs, Ring doorbell, and that Nebula Lite device is going on sale pretty soon. Actually, we had a very strong response to our wait list, and I think one thing that kind of makes us very unique from a lot of sort of projects out there is one of our key goals has been to move to the revenue generation model as soon as possible, and we've seen that recently as well. So recently, we were selling what we call our hosted nodes, which is effectively it's an NFT which people can purchase, and with each node that people buy, we set it up for them. We set up a node for them, and they have it running. It rapidly grew our network from about 50 nodes to over 500 now, with the profits from that revenue generation going back into the token ecosystem. So whether that be node holders who receive a percentage of that revenue profit, and then also back get into the token ecosystem through buybacks and things like that. So some of our key achievements that we've had over the past 6-7 months is that our user adoption has been key, with over 6,000 app downloads. Our target is to reach 10,000 by the end of this year. That is going very well at this point in time. And what we will be looking to do over the next few weeks is bring out our premium version of the app, increasing another revenue stream back into the network as well. We have a staking platform as well, which has done incredibly successfully. We have over 12% of our tokens staked from our community. And yeah, for me to have that in such a short amount of time really shows a significant level of trust and commitment from our community, which is great to see. The hosted nodes as well, that generates 250 ETH for us. And then also we're looking to go with strategic partnerships where we collaborate with major players within Web3, where they're able to utilize our technology, and likewise collaborating with key partners out there as well, where we're able to adopt their technology and improve the quality of our network as well. So over the next few months, we've got a lot of things coming out, ideally gearing things up so it times nicely with a bull run / alt season, which hopefully, ideally, we're starting to see some of the signs of today. So that it's not too far away for everybody, with ETH with its little bit of a resurgence there, and hopefully it's here to stay and just keep moving forward really. So with our premium app and our Nebula Lite going on sale over the next few weeks, which will have a significant impact within the revenue generation capabilities of our project. One thing that we have seen as well with the Nebula Lite is that we have quite strong demand from a retail segment as well. But one area that we're heavily focusing on and looking to build out very quickly as well is our business to business model, where we're speaking to companies that specialize within IoT, security, and things like that. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's Cosmic Network. I think we're in a very unique position where we're able to solve a lot of the problems that are happening within VPN. And VPN is a growing topic with a number of people, like you see things happening in places like Brazil, Pakistan, and Turkey, where they are facing more and more internet censorship, more and more restrictions against centralized VPN usage. And we're really focusing our efforts within those areas, crossing both Web3 and Web2 marketing. So yeah, no, thank you for that. I think that about wraps me up.
All right. Thanks to Cosmic Network for jumping up and giving us their pitch. If you have any questions for them, definitely feel free to drop those in the comments below. Moving on quickly to our next one is Adam from The Player. Go for it, Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I'm Adam Myers. I am the head of business development for Player Gaming Blockchain. Been on the team for about 8 months now. And the project's actually been around since 2021. We are a layer one on Avalanche. We are designed to make blockchain gaming easier and rewarding for the players and the developers. So put simply, we are a infrastructure play. We've figured out all of the confusing parts of connecting non-crypto games to crypto. And that way developers can easily plug and play into our system. That allows the game developers to really focus on making a great game. And it's a little bit of a chicken and the egg theory. You create a great backbone infrastructure and hope you get game developers, or do you start making games? So the way we looked at it is, hey, let's make some games on our infrastructure to show that it works. That's what we've done. We have so far developed 6 games on our network, and 2 of them were actually made by independent game developers, which is our target customer, those indie game devs. We do have a 7th game in progress currently. One of the games, we released it as a soft launch about a month ago. It's called Zuno. It's basically Uno, but we've added like a little spin to it, a little elemental spin. Turn-based card game, nothing too crazy. We launched that one first because it would be able to test our network, and it's been handling it really good. So yeah, the Zuno launched and it allowed us to really test our network and kind of improve some things. And we've had about 5,000 wallets created. And just a little bit of stats about what has played so far. We've had about 1,200 games of Zuno played. We had about 230 players and about 154 hours of gameplay. We've been doing some game nights over this past month, and we're going to continue doing them throughout the rest of the year. Along with that, we are going to be releasing the rest of the games that we've already developed over the next Q1 era timeframe. Addition to that, we've got about 10,000 zoo genes. There are cute animal NFTs, and the unique thing with these is they're actually playable in game. They can either be a skin or they can actually be additional attributes in game. So we wanted to create those initially for us, for our games, but what we've decided is to allow game developers that build on us to actually use those as assets in their game to really save the time so they don't have to go through and develop characters and all of that for their game. Something about the zoo genes is they are tradable. They have about $420,000 in trading volume, and we will be spinning up a new marketplace for those NFTs here pretty soon as well. Our token is a player coin, and that actually processes the transactions on our network. That's currently tradable on MEXC. We have another in-game rewards token called Gamer, and that one will be tradable here pretty soon as well. There's VCs in the space. VCs are great. It gives you that capital, but they hold a good amount of tokens. And what we've decided is we started out in 2021. We didn't have any VCs and we still don't have any. So we've been running strong, running very lean, but it's enabled us to really focus on the community and focusing on the long-term aspects of the player ecosystem. So when the challenge that we are trying to solve is creating a video game is difficult. Like just that by itself is already a challenge. And then you add on the layer of crypto, adding that onto a game, and that makes it even more difficult. And I get to speak with game developers every week because that's our true customer. So I get to speak with them, and honestly, the vast majority of them could care less about crypto. It's not something that is really taught in school curriculum. It's not something that they hear about growing up playing games. Like you don't hear about crypto and gaming because it just doesn't exist right now. But the interesting thing with that is right now, somebody was talking about earlier how the market's doing really well. A lot of that is due to traditional Bitcoin cycle, but also we are having some significant institutional investors coming into the crypto space. And what that does is it legitimizes crypto. And so not only is it going to legitimize the entire industry, but it's going to legitimize every sub industry within crypto as a whole. And that's going to extend to crypto gaming as well. Eventually, crypto gaming will become more of a standard because of the technological benefits it gives the game developers. And so we really think that we're in a perfect position for that. So what are we doing that sets us apart? For one, we're built on Avalanche, super fast. Our subnet is super cheap to send transactions, lightning fast, and it enables us to use our underlying tech, which is multi-chain. So we have a multi-chain aspect where you can have different EVM networks compatible with our games. So you could be playing your game on our player ecosystem, and you could be playing on, say, one EVM chain, and then your friend could be playing on another EVM chain, and you're playing the same game, and the transactions are happening on the back end of things. So it really makes it a lot more accessible to a lot of different gamers. Something that we're really proud of is our player ID. So our player ID is actually like our login system. And we have this tech with our player ID where it's called Mirror Wallet. And it adds an extra layer of security for your assets. So you could actually have your NFTs on one wallet, and then you can have either your actual tokens that you're playing in the game on another wallet. And what is the gamer will just be the display of all of your assets and all of your NFTs in one place, even though on the back end of things, they're actually in different wallets. So that's something that's pretty exciting that we've been able to accomplish. And with that, because we're multi-chain compatible, you could take another EVM chain and say there's a skin or a Zoo Racer's cart that you want to buy in one of our games, and you don't necessarily have enough of the token required to buy that asset. What you can do is you can actually, instead of going to an exchange and buying a token and then swapping it and trading it and then bridging it and doing all of that just to get it into the player network, you can actually do that all on the back end of our assets. You can transfer from one network straight into your player ID, and then you're able to purchase those assets that you want. So we've really just looked at how do we streamline everything that's possible for the gamers and also the game developers to implement for us. We have this thing called Instant Play Pass. It's a guest account where you can sign on, 2 clicks. You don't have to connect a wallet. It's seamless. You can play. We track your guest account. So if you wanted to bridge that to your main account, that's possible as well. But yeah, that's running out of my time. I appreciate you having me here, and thanks for this.
And that was Adam with stage there with us and telling us a little bit more about Player Network and what you guys are doing over there. And last but not least, we have Stefan. So go for it, my friend. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Hello. First of all, can you hear me?
Yep. Go for
Okay,
it.
perfect. I'm from a PC, so that's why. So I'm Stefan. I am a co-founder of Armor Wallet. It's a wallet. Everybody knows about wallets, right? Everybody uses MetaMask on the daily. So what makes Armor special, right? The cool thing is the AI part. You can think of Armor as ChatGPT that meets MetaMask, that meets Unibot. So you can talk to the wallet with prompts, and it can make transactions, it can make bridges, it can trade for you instead of you clicking buttons. So it does that with the power of AI agents. I know that AI agents are all the meta right now. We have one already built out. It's the research agent. We also have a trading one, and we have a portfolio management one. So let me give you an example of how it works, because everybody literally uses wallets all the time. You write into Arbor and say, hey, take these 2 Ethereum that I have on Base and DCA into Solana for the next week. And only do that if the price of Solana doesn't go up by 6%. And the wallet will go out and do it for you. But it can also do way more than that because it covers trading, research, and portfolio. It's like a crypto assistant that you have, but it's on steroids. So to make it a bit more On the high end, Armor is an AI wallet that can bring all of your assets together and gives you the tools to manage your entire portfolio. And you can trade as if you have an expert that's sitting on a trading desk at Wall Street, and they're online 24/7. So you have access to 3 agents. Think of them as 3 digital assistants that help you with everything you need in the crypto space, and they can all talk to each other. So why did we decide to build the Armor wallet by itself? It's almost a year ago. He said, "Hey, I want to try out this Web3 game. Please help me out. I want to be in the crypto space." And this is before the bull market. So the prime bear market. And he said, "Yeah, I want to do everything. You just tell me all the things." So I sent by him and he created a Binance account. He had to buy funds. He had to transfer them to a wallet. He made a mistake. So he sent his funds to a different chain. So he had to bridge. It was complicated. And then he had to mint an NFT. And he just turns to me and he says, "This is why all of you crypto people are complicated, right? This is insane. Nobody's ever going to use this." And he was actually right. Me, myself, I hate doing dumb manual work. So imagine you have a whitelist for an NFT project. You need to mint it at 5. You're there at 4:30 checking whether you have enough tokens to mint, enough gas. You waste half an hour just waiting, and you have to use spreadsheets for finances. I have an Excel of all of my investments that I've made in the last 4 years, the times I got them, and the prices of the token at that time. So if you're using MetaMask, you don't have entry prices. You don't even have a notification when somebody sends you money. There's nothing. You have to manually check how much money you have made if you want to know that information. And don't get me started on checking your balance across all of your wallets. That's crypto hell. Armor Wallet can solve all of those problems. You can just put in a prompt and ask it like you would in ChatGPT, and it gives you the answer that you're looking for. It mints out the NFT instead of you. It can buy meme coins instead of you wasting time on DEX tools or DEX screener, and it can sell them when you tell it. So you're not going to be placing limit orders. You're not going to be doing any of that. You can just say a word, say a sentence, and it can do it for you. I think Armor Wallet is fulfilling a trader's dream. And if you'd ask them what wish a trader would have, they would come up with something like Armor Wallet. So in terms of my background, I graduated as an electrical engineer. I specialized in robotics and computer systems automation. Engineering was pretty boring, so I started working as a copywriter and a content writer for brands VPN, ClickFunnels, QGQ Limited. And then I discovered crypto. I created a play-to-earn guild. I wanted to make a startup about it. I went to a Techstars event. I helped break a Guinness World Record, worked for a Web3 game similar to Dota 2 and League of Legends. Then I joined a business reality TV show with my startup. We got 3rd place, and now I'm a co-founder at Armor Wallet. When it comes to the wallet itself, most people are familiar with AI, right? ChatGPT, everybody tested it out. With agents, the cool thing is I know that it's a meta, but you go one level above that. You can think of it like AI 2.0, where the LLM has evolved from simply responding to your commands to understanding and acting autonomous. Think of an AI agent as a digital assistant. So you can just say, "Hey, I need to book a meeting with somebody whenever I'm free in the next month or so. Can you go and book it?" And then an AI agent can just go out and do it. It will have access to tools. It has memory. It can plan for things, and it can complete actions. Let's look at the trading agent. You tell it that you want to DCA to Ethereum into Solana, as I mentioned before. And it can do that when the gas is cheapest and the price doesn't increase by 6% in a day. It has to look in your trading wallet and find the Ethereum. The agent needs to search for the price of Solana daily and see and manually check if it increases by 6%, and then use a trading tool to complete the action. The memory part remembers the command and does it for 20 days. The planning is what the agent will do and how it will recalculate if the price does increase by 6%. So it has to do the math again, and then finally complete all of the actions. One interesting use case is portfolio rebalancing. Let's say you have been doing what everybody else on the timeline has been doing, and you have bought meme coins, AI coins, and 90% of your portfolio today is in memes. Some coin did a 22x. And it shouldn't be, right? Maybe you invested 10% of your portfolio, but the meme coins jumped up, and now 70% of your portfolio is memes based on a dollar amount. And for risk reasons, you want to swap that around and drop down your meme coin exposure. The agent will have a conversation with you about your risk appetite. So the narratives you want to invest in, maybe it's AI, maybe it's DeepIn, maybe it's RWA. So he's going to tell you, here are the opinions about the current state of your portfolio composition, and it will show you and propose a rebalance. So you can select a percentage of your meme coins and do a rebalance. So you can say, I'm not ready to sell it all, just a little bit. I want to keep them riding. And then it says how much that rebalance is going to cost you. If you have a lot of tokens on ETH, it can tell you how much gas it's going to cost. And maybe you say, so Armor, do the rebalance, but do it at 2 a.m. in the morning when the gas is the cheapest, or only do this when gas gets below 50 Gwei. In this case, the research part is going to analyze the Gwei, the trading part is going to execute the trades, and the portfolio agent handles the management and the risk, right? So it will use all the major dexes, so security won't be an issue. And the use case is up to you, right? I like the DCA story because if I want to do something like that, I need to hire an intern or I need to waste a lot of hours, right? We can do DCA over 25 days, over a week, over anything. You can distribute the Ethereum evenly. You can say if the price increases by 10% in a given day, just don't do it. And one of my favorite use cases is get out of all of my positions and convert me into stable coins right now. You're on different chains. You have multiple wallets. You have different exchanges, bridges, stakes. This is a nightmare if you're a trader, and it's super complex for a human to do. This is killer utility when it comes to using Armor Wallet. It's so simple, it's so critical, and it's so difficult for projects to make. And that's what we are building with Armor Wallet.
I was just going to tell you got 1 minute left.
1 minute left. Perfect. So we're also going to have a marketplace where you're going to interact with other third-party applications. So Uniswap, Aave, if you're staking, if you're getting loans, if you're trying to get something done with a Twitter analytics tool, Sentiment, you're going to be able to have access to all of those things inside of a marketplace. And plus, if people are good at prompting, as they are with ChatGPT, they can package their prompts and offer them on the marketplace and earn a percentage of all the people who use them for trading. I'm just going to leave it at that.
And that was Armor Wallet. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Stefan. Appreciate it. And thanks to all of our projects that have come on today to pitch on the 10-minute show. With that being said, thanks again for all of you that have tuned in to listen to all these projects. Hopefully you found a good gem out there, potentially even your project that you think will be the next moonshot project. Again, not financial advice for any of the projects that have appeared today on the 10-minute show. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And as always, please do your own research. If you haven't done so and you want to learn more about the projects, give each of these projects a follow. Likewise, be sure to follow us here at the NXT Moon Project. We've got this 10-minute pitch show coming up every week. We'll be kicking it live again at the first of the month of December. We'll be kicking off with the game starting on Thursday the 5th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll be doing the next week's show on memes the 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time again. So you can always bank on it being on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have any projects that you want to hear on the 10-minute pitch show, definitely have them tag us and we will do what we can to get them up on stage. Have a great rest of your day and weekend.